All right, what's going on, everybody? This is Coach Dipka over at King Capital. Today, I got another trade recap for you guys. We got a $7 sell on SPY off of my fib level, executed it perfectly live in the Discord. So I'm going to walk you guys through exactly how we traded this play. Let's get right into it. Today, we had a really big one, okay? I grabbed SPY puts, or I actually short the market right here at 395.72, bet on it to go down, and we got a massive $7 sell-off throughout the day. Initial move went down pretty quickly, about $5 here, as you can see, $5.50. So really significant move off a level. I'm going to talk today about fibs, how I organize and try to see which fibs are stronger than others, and how I really execute, right? Anyone can have lines on the screen, right? Anyone can post levels pre-market and say, oh, I call top, I call bottom. But were you able to capitalize? Were you able to execute on those levels? I'm going to show you exactly how I do it, okay? So for starters, I think it's very important to talk about pre-market in King Capital Discord. I post levels every day, and I actually post them free on Twitter today. And I don't just post levels. I post levels and thesis or a plan behind those levels, what I plan to do if price action gets to those levels, right? So today I said, if we get up to 395.72, I'm shorting. Or when we get to 395.72, I'm short. I'm grabbing short there. I said it 3 times throughout the day as well. Okay. Why did I do this? Well, let's look first at why I didn't grab puts down here and why I waited for here. Okay. So real simple. If you look at the low from CPI, remember CPI came out, it was higher than expected. That was very bearish. We had a big sell-off from 415 to 392 here. That's the key. Where did we stop? 392.44 is the candle close. 392 is the candle wick, right? So that was support. We got to bounce off that level. The next day, we made a low here, bounced off of the previous day's low, and then another bounce off the previous day's low. So that told me, hey, okay, let's just draw this zone. CPI low and yesterday's double bottom, tons of support here. We open here. If I short right away, I am shorting at support. Those things are opposites, right? Support is supposed to bounce. Does it always? No. If support slices, of course, the risk reward is great, but I'm all about consistency, safe plays, A+ setups. I'm not someone who's going to short at support most of the time. There are rare circumstances where I will, but right off the bell, no, not for me, unless there was a catalyst, right? So I felt strongly that we would get a bounce here, and we did, right? It totally makes sense. We got a bounce on our first test of support for the day. It totally makes sense. And where does that bring us to, though? Where does that bring us to? Well, let's look, okay? It's one thing to have these lines on your screen, but how can we execute? Well, I have a fib here, and I love trading off fibs, but guys, if I zoom out on my chart, look at all these lines. You think I'm just grabbing every line of support? These got sliced through, right? This one sliced through, right? These slice through sometimes. That one's pretty nice. But this one right here, it went over, it went under. This one, this teal one, sliced through in pre-market the other day. Look at the downside. Slice through these like they were butter.
I can't believe it's not butter.
The point is, I don't just go out there with these fibs and say, hey, when we touch a fib overhead, I'm going to short. And when we touch it on bottom, I'm going to buy calls, right? That's not how it works. The way I do it, it's more of a process. I have to combine the fib with other pieces of conviction or historical back testing. So the first place I always go is pre-market, okay? And let's see what we have here. So before this even happened, this was my top watch because it was pre-market high. And I'm not talking pre-market high once. Look, boom, struggled here, struggled here, struggled here, struggled here. 4 times. We have 4 highs here in pre-market at this fib. So right away, not only do I have a fib, but I also now have pre-market high. So anyone who doesn't have this fib on their screen, they could be buying puts at 395.72 because of pre-market high. So even if they didn't have this fib, you have one set of sellers at 395.72 from pre-market high. Now let's look at it. Another method people use is yesterday's high day. Look at this. You have one test here. You have a second test here, a third test here, a fourth test here. I really, I'm not going to call it a quadruple top, but it really is a true double top right there. If you circle them consider this more consolidation. It's a true double top at 395.72. So now let's go through this again. We have sellers. Even if you don't have this fib on your screen, you might be someone who uses key levels and found yesterday's high, right, as a key level of resistance. So you have sellers at yesterday's high. You have sellers at pre-market high, and you have sellers at the fib resistance, right? So you have, think about other people that are looking at this chart. Not everyone uses fibs. They may see this. They may see this. Doesn't matter. I have 3 groups of people, right? If I were to use this fib, what do I have? I don't really have a pre-market high here. I don't really have yesterday's high or yesterday's low at this green line, right? So this fib was way more significant to me today than this fib. So that's why I let it go through. I didn't touch it. I didn't care about this fib today. This was the fib I was watching, right? Because I have other pieces of conviction telling me that this fib is stronger than the others. Okay. So let that be clear about, I have a ton, like I showed you guys, I have a ton of fibs here. Do I just trade them all? No, of course not. I look at which ones have other pieces of conviction, right? Maybe I have the 21 EMA. Maybe, wow, we just got a big leg down here on SPY. Holy, Dwayne is actually short futures right now. He's probably going nuts. But just to get back to the program, again, fibs, why are some more important than others? Look at historically back tested. Just look back on the chart. I'm overcomplicating it, saying historically back tested levels, trying to be fancy. Look back on the chart. Look at the chart. What levels worked before, right? Go back to the daily. We talked about 390. 390 is right about here, right? Look at this. We had support here at 390, rejected here at 390, held here at 390, held here at 390. So if you look at the daily chart, right, 390 is big. So let me go back to 10 days ago, right? Now look at this fib. This is 389.97. If I'm someone who just trades on key levels using the daily chart, right, look at 390. You have a clear-cut support area right here at around 390, right? Held here, rejected. You have a gap right here, right? And you had a ultimate hold over in this zone as well. So if I'm someone who trades on the daily chart, I'm going to have 390 as a level. Now, let's go back to the chart I just had up for you guys 10 days ago. What happened, guys? Why is this fib significant? 389.97. Because I have on the daily chart a massive level at 390, and I also have a fib. So I don't just use the fib alone, right? I didn't buy here, or here, necessarily. I didn't look for this fib to hold, I mean, this one worked too for probably other reasons, right? But this fib, I will take more significantly, put more weight into it because I have another piece of conviction there, right? And it's not always, hey, do I have yesterday's high, yesterday's low? Do I have a daily high? Do I have a level on the daily chart? Sometimes it's an EMA. Do I have the 21 EMA there for the goose? Do I have a 9 EMA for the rabbit, right? Those are some of my other strategies. You can, again, look at YouTube if you're interested in those. But I just want you guys to get used to, the more reasons I can find to support a level or to strengthen a level and strengthen the conviction behind it, the better it's going to be, the more quality that setup is. And again, it's not always going to work. Sometimes levels get sliced through, shit happens, right? But it increases my odds. It increases the probability that I will be successful there. Now, I'm predicting a really big down day. Dwayne and I got short today right here at 395.72. Dwayne is still loaded in some future shorts. We were adding, I did sell a little bit early today on this move initially, but we got back in like right here on this bear flag, and man, he's going to get paid. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. I hope you guys have a great day. Hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, take care, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.